Hello, I'm Mortgage Mike, and welcome to another edition of your weekly mortgage industry update. Today's topic is about source of funds, or better known as cash to close. It's a very important aspect of the mortgage process because we have to verify that the funds that are used are the borrower's funds or the buyer's own funds, that they didn't borrow those funds from somebody or some entity. So, how do we know if deposits are acceptable or not? Well, when we look at a bank statement, many times, much like if you look at your bank statement, you get a payroll check, you have a deposit that shows where that payroll check comes from. That's easy for us to document because it's on the bank statement. But what about those deposits that show up on a bank statement that do not have an explanation behind it? That's where me or any other loan officer has to begin to look deeper into our clients' assets and source of funds to tell the proper story. Again, we want to make sure that this is our borrowers or our buyers' own funds, that these funds aren't borrowed from other sources. So what we look at is our bank statements, or we look at our investment accounts, and we make sure that there's no unexplained deposits. If there are unexplained deposits on there, then we need to figure out where those came from. Typically, we need a copy of a canceled check. If it was a check given to them, hopefully that's the case. And if it came from another account, we're going to need to have that statement from that other account. Now the trick is that if this comes from another account, not only do we have to look at that statement, we have to look deeply at that statement to make sure there's no other unexplained deposits that are coming in. Because if there are, we have to figure out where the money came from on that one. Again, what we're looking to do is to make sure that funds are not borrowed, that these are our clients' own funds. Now, some of the tricks that I see, or some of the tricky things that I see that pop up, are maybe a relative gave somebody $500 for their birthday right before closing, or a month before closing they gave them $1,000 and happy birthday or birthday gift or something. Well, guess what that is? That's considered a gift. We have to document it as a gift. So I've got to get a gift letter out. I've got to get the bank statement from the donor so that I can prove where those source of funds came from and make sure they're not borrowed. I've seen this happen many times, and it wasn't a gift per se for the house. It was a birthday gift, but nonetheless, it's a gift, and we have to document it accordingly. The other things that I've seen out there is cash. Cash is a problem. If we have a cash deposit, it's a really hard story to tell, and many times it can be the kiss of death for a mortgage loan if we can't properly document it or we can't back it out of the assets. So we want to stay away from cash deposits. Certainly we want to stay away from any unsecured loans or cash advances that would have a loan attached to it, because again, those aren't our borrower's own source of funds. I had a loan just recently where I could tell my clients lived on a cash basis. They never wrote a check. I had cash flying between accounts all over the place. It was a nightmare to document. We got through it, but my preference would have been that they wrote checks or they used electronic banking, but they didn't. So we had to figure out how to document every cash deposit that they had in between all the various accounts that they had to get the loan made, which unfortunately pushed us past our close date because we needed a tremendous amount of information. And every time that I got a bank statement, I had to get another bank statement to explain where the cash for that deposit was coming from. It became a very difficult process to get us through, but we made it in the end. So source of funds are not always the easiest things to document. So our job as loan officers is to be prudent, look at what we have, dig deep as we possibly can so that we can tell the complete story and we can get our clients to the closing table with the least amount of hassle. I'm Mortgage Mike saying thanks for watching, and spread the love, heal the world. Talk to you soon.